And have you noticed any changes in the 2 years that you've been here as far as how newspapers are put together, or the focus of the newspaper, or can you address that a little bit? And then the next part's going to be, where do you see the newspaper business or the Morrison County Record specifically going in the next, let's say, 2 to 5 years?
Yeah. Well, in only 2 years that I've been here, we've seen not only a change in the format of our print edition. I think it was a 5 column newspaper. Now it's gone to a 6 column. That's just display aesthetics, but it's also our online. We created a new website. So just in 2 years, we revamped both the print and website to offer more accessibility, have it draw people in more, and online specifically in a rural community. There's not a lot of people that get their news that way. They'll pick up the paper on the weekend and they'll keep it all week, reading it intermittently. But with online, you want to draw people in daily so that a weekly newspaper can pretty much act like a daily newspaper. And that's what our managing editor, Tom West, who had hired me, that was one of the things he hired me under, was the idea that we wanted to do that. And hopefully we've been successful, but obviously we're still working on it.
But that's pretty exciting,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to see immediate changes like that and be part of the team that's moving the paper in that direction.
Yes, absolutely. It's exciting because I've been able to be hands-on with it, and I think that's a lot of reporters. Um, you know, Obviously at the Minnesota Daily, my experience was that okay, you write your job, or your job is to write. So you write, other people edit, they bring it back to you, you rewrite, other people edit, they bring it back to you, you rewrite, and it goes to print. Now I edit, I write, I take photos, I help manage and kind of create new ideas for the website. Um, and you have to be kind of more versatile as a journalist nowadays.
Yeah, and speaking of new ideas, one of the things that you're trying, and kind of also going back to the idea of where newspapers might be heading in the next couple of years, one of the things you've already started right now is connecting to Twitter. Can you talk a little bit
Yes.
about that?
Well, social networking isn't going to go away. I think it came up when I was in college. I was on Facebook. It was just a way to connect with my friends. I had written a column about 2 months ago. Um, One of our towns, Flensburg, had its municipal bar burned down to the ground that week. Went out, took photos of it. Just got a call in from one of the town members saying, "Hey, our bar's on fire." So we went out, we took photos, and then we came back, and on the weekend it went to print. Um, but that bar burned down on a Monday. So Monday we had photos up on our website. We had the story up went Monday night, Tuesday morning, but no one really got that in our print edition until Sunday. So a lot of people didn't even know what happened. And so one of the advantages of a Twitter that I came up with, that we thought of, was the idea that we could quickly Twitter, even on a cell phone, going out to cover Flensburg Bar burning down. Just want to verify that it's fact. And then when you get out there and you can verify the fact from your cell phone, you can quickly say, okay, it was fact, taking photos now. And then 15 minutes later, you can say, okay, photos posted, with a link to those photos on your website. So again, you're drawing people to your website and you're reporting on a more timely basis, just like a daily newspaper would be able to. You're able to operate as a daily newspaper, a larger newspaper would, for no cost dedicated to that resource.
Sure, and you can verify things quicker, and other people in that area can get the information quicker, and there's just a lot of advantages. And
Yeah.
I,
Well, and just like getting a job or trying to find a job in the newspaper business is about networking. People will tell you that once you're in, it's about networking. You want to have sources, and Twitter allows you to have those sources. Um, if you have 100 people following you on Twitter, you're not just sending tweets to them about the news; they're sending tweets to you about news tips, and then
exactly.
you're able to follow up on them.
How many people have you gotten to follow the Morrison County Record?
They believe we're up to about 40, which is pretty good in my book
Not
because
too
I
bad
think
for around here.
it's only been up for a month, and yeah, we're rural area that I don't even know, a lot of people have accepted the new technology as much as they probably will in the future. It's still new to people. It's still a young man's tool, I guess you
Yeah,
could say.
and what other kind of changes do you see besides Twitter? Do you have any feel for where we might be going in the next couple of years?
Um, well, I think blogging is going to be more embraced by newspapers. Usually it was at first it was standoffish because it was looked at as competition. Now I think it's going to be looked at as just another tool um, for to draw people in. Usually a newspaper is looked at as they're the fact gatherers. A journalist is a fact gatherer, and the news story is facts. And that's what you want to still do. But I think a blog offers you the more entertainment value. And something in the future that I think readers are going to want is that entertainment mixed with their fact and with their news. And I think blogging, Twitter, Facebook, those types of things would offer readers that.
Yeah. And is there anything else that you'd like to mention about Morrison County Record or your job in particular? Or before we do that, actually, let me backtrack and just say, what other advice would you have for students who might be interested in going into the newspaper business or the industry somehow?
Yeah.
What would you tell them?
Well, I'd say don't shy away from it. Obviously, there's a lot of bad publicity out there for the newspaper industry. They're saying we're a dying breed, and I don't necessarily think that's true. I just think that we're an evolving breed, and that's going to be the case with any industry. And the newspaper industry is still going to survive, so don't be scared away. But just if you want to get into it, be passionate about it, because I guess that's how I got into it, was that I realized there was a passion there, and I followed up on it. And I think people can do that about anything. There's nothing wrong with testing the water, and if you like its temperature, jump in.
Great. And anything else that you want to add that I didn't cover?
No, I think that would probably be it. Is that people don't be scared of newspaper industry, and actually even more specifically, don't be scared of community newspapers, because they might be smaller publications, and maybe that's idealistically, even I get into the industry thinking one day I want to work for the New York Times or something. Well, that's a possibility, but you always have to start out somewhere.
Right.
And when you start out getting the experience that I've been able to at a small newspaper, it's not just one job they're asking of me, it's multiple. And that can be seem overwhelming at times. But that's the way it should be when you're starting out. I think you get more experience under your belt in a short time frame, and you're able to learn what the newspaper industry is all about.
Yeah, and I liked what you said too about don't be afraid to ask either. If you're interested in sports and a team's coming out, twittering about it. Maybe nobody at one of the other newspapers have had the opportunity to do that, and maybe it's just going to take a student who's familiar with Twitter to go and try it out for that newspaper too. So we're at a time where we kind of need to think outside of the box a little bit, and I give you kudos and congratulate you and the Morrison County Record for doing that, because it was one of the first things that just jumped out at me in that edition was the idea of twittering and getting news that way, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool for Little Falls, Minnesota. It's pretty progressive. That's
and
cool.
On it too, I think I kind of ripped on it. Its existence and its normal purpose, but I said that it could evolve into something that is, again, just a journalism tool instead of a social networking tool.
Right, you're not looking for status updates on I just fed my dog, but if it's real news, let you know.
Right, yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And again, it's Matt Perkins with the Morrison County Record, which is housed out of Little Falls, Minnesota. So thanks again, Matt.
Thank you.